So, hi everybody, I'm Kamil, I'm here in Startplatz, Cologne, and today we have our Lean Startup Cologne meetup. And I have a special guest here, it's Tomer Sharon from New York. And Tomer, maybe you introduce yourself and tell us why you are here.
I'm here because you asked me to. I'm Tomer Sharon. I work in New York. I'm actually from New Jersey, and I'm what's called in the office a Jersey boy. And I'm a user experience researcher at Google in New York, which is Google's second largest office with about 5,000 people, I think. And I'm with the search group. I've been with Google since 2008. And I'm also writing a lot about user experience research. So I published one book, and there's another one coming up. And what else? Why am I here? Because I'm interested in startups, because I'm interested in hearing startups, in talking to startups, and in getting them to know more about lean user research.
Okay, so maybe you can explain it in simple words. What is lean user research, and what's maybe the difference between other lean methodologies?
How much time do you have? So lean user research is a discipline that is providing insights into product users, and the key word here is insights. It's not giving all the answers. Insights into product users, their abilities and capabilities to the right people at the right time. And very, very generally speaking, lean user research helps answer three types of questions about users. First, what do they need? Second is, what do they want? Which is very, very different than what they need. And third, and the easiest to answer, by the way, is, can they use the thing that we're building? And if not, what can we do about it? The difference, there are many, many differences. I think the difference is, one difference is that it's faster. Research is a heavy word. When people hear the word research, they think about white robes, people who wear glasses like that, and rats, and something that takes a long time to accomplish. So I argue that almost every research method has a lighter way of doing that, a faster way of doing it. So lean user research is fast. The second is that anyone can do it. It's not just a researcher that comes in and conducts a 2-month-long study. Anyone can do that, and I think it's even preferred that people who are not researchers, who don't have experience in that, do it. The reason is, and this is another difference, is that the most important thing with lean research is that you create a shared understanding. It's not something that the researcher is learning and then sharing with a team or a client or whoever. It's something that the team does. The team is getting or attaining this shared understanding together about what we should, and then what we learned from users or about users or potential users. And then it's much easier to implement. I can talk about that for hours, so I'll stop now.
Okay, so maybe we can get a little bit more specific. So where are you using right now lean user research techniques, maybe for your own products or at Google?
Google, I mean, I understand the curiosity about Google, and in the same time, in many ways, Google is not your typical company. No. Google is not a typical startup. So what Google does, what we do at Google, is sometimes it's very nice, it's very interesting, but it's not very relevant to a lot of others. But the things that are relevant for others, I'll give you an example that happens to me probably at least once every 2 weeks. A product manager comes in the morning, asks a question. I understand that the question can be answered with let's say usability test, in which you ask people to use something and then you ask them to think out loud and you watch what happens.
The easier part, right?
Yeah. And what I do is very quickly, as we speak, I draft we call it protocol, the kind of the script of the test. What is it that we're going to ask people to do? What questions are we going to ask them? We very quickly decide together who are the people who we want to participate in this. And then we use remote online tools to launch a study maybe an hour after we started talking. And then we're getting videos back of people completing the tasks that we crafted and answering the questions that we had. And within another hour, we have maybe 4 or 5 videos of people doing that. And then we watch the videos together and we have an answer to the question. Sometimes product managers are amazed that a question they asked in the morning can be answered before they go home, and not too late even. So that is an example of a lean research method that we use. There are many others, but that's just a quick example that happens a lot.
One thing, you started this WhatsApp group for experts, for like user research experts or for product experts?
The group was, it's a closed group. So WhatsApp limits us today to 100 members. So it's a closed group from 100 people. 90 of them are people that just decided this is interesting enough for them to join. The topic is lean user research. We talk about that topic and related topics there. And the other 10 members are, I call them daily guest experts. So the group is open only for 30 days. I think we're just in the middle now.
Okay. So hurry up.
Yeah, and today, by the way, we have Jeff Gotthelf, who's our guest expert.
Awesome.
And we have 10 experts, approximately 2 or 3 times a week. We have a guest expert for the day. I start the day with a few questions, and then I leave the expert in the hands of the gang. They can ask the expert whatever they want until the day is over.
And I'm curious, is this an MVP for a larger product?
This is, I wouldn't say an MVP. I'd say it's an experiment. Okay. Personal. It's not a Google thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going to come out of it. I know what I want to learn, but and I'm learning already, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen next. So I'll wait for the 2 weeks that we have left to finish, and then we'll see.
Okay, great. Another thing is, you told me today that you have already been in Germany and did some user research a couple of years ago.
Yes, and I've been here many times.
Okay, so what's maybe the difference in talking to customers and users in Germany compared to the US? Are there any differences?
Oh, I wasn't ready for that. Differences. I think I'll maybe surprise you. I think that I would say the Western world, and I include, surprisingly so, even some cultures in Asia are completely westernized, so I include them in that. There are a lot of common ground in terms of user behavior. So I might travel, or I don't know, do research in the US and then travel to Europe. No matter where, Western world and Asia, some of the countries there, I find that people are not that different. But sometimes there are big differences. Here, let me see. That was a long time ago. Because when I told you on the way from the train station, I told you about a study that I did when I worked in advertising. I'm now with Google Search. In Search, it's easier. We have so many users that their countries, they matter, but not that much. But in advertising, we cared about specific countries a lot. I think here, I'm just trying to steal some time to think. Here, I think the primary, I don't know if it's a difference. I would say people try to have very clear processes. Sometimes, if I compare it to it's not always the case in the US. Sometimes in the US, it's okay when things are open-ended. Yeah. And I find that here, again, not in all cases, but it seems like a pattern that people need prescription for how to do things. So that means a lot in terms of creating new products or developing products. You can't leave things open sometimes. You have to be very prescriptive about what you create.
Yeah, so maybe one thing that I recognize is that in Germany people are more like, they like more like perfection. They're not so open to trial and error things like maybe in the US.
That's true for creating new products. I can't say that it's true for the actual development of the product itself or the design itself, but yes, it's hard to start persuading people to that it's okay to fail. Yes, I find it hard here, and there are other cultures that are like that. They need to know that they're going to be successful, and only then they're willing to do things. But that's not how Lean Startup works.
I have another culture topic, but not in between countries, but differences between large organizations and startups, because your methodologies can be used in both contexts. Yes. But what, from your experience, is like what do you have to take care in large organizations? What's there the point, and what's the point in startups?
I think, again, I might surprise you. There are a lot of similarities. Okay. The big thing that is common is that there always needs to be someone who really cares about this. If there's not that person or people that really care about these new methods, it's going to be very hard to implement. And it doesn't matter what size organization you work for. If it's a 2 founder startups, that's it, 2 people. And if it's a 2,000 people company or 20,000, if people don't agree on the principles of that type of work, it's not going to happen. So that's a similarity. Bigger organizations can do a lot of experiments. They can allow themselves, maybe they're not willing to do that, but they can allow themselves to experiment and fail without huge consequences. Startups, although we tend to think they're the perfect organization to try things and fail, when a startup fails significantly, they have a serious problem. There's no company, there's no product. So I guess it's easier for organizations, for bigger enterprises, to try things. I must say that in reality, it's the complete opposite. Startups are willing to fail, willing to try things, because they're looking for the business model, because they're looking for something that works. And the enterprises, the big enterprises, they're not even willing to try. They need their traditional methods, most of them, again. But if they try, it's going to be okay. It's okay not to succeed.
So there is a chance for the large organizations too, right?
Of course there is. I mean, I'm going to give a stupid example from Google. And again, while saying that Google is not your typical company, remember Google Buzz, remember Google Wave, remember Google whatever. There are a lot of things that are not very successful or were not successful, and they shut down. And it's okay. It's all right. We learned a lot of things, and we hope that we're doing better. And it's okay. Nothing happened.
Okay, so what are your plans for this year? So what are your main projects right now you want to? I
have different areas with plans. So I would say at Google, I want to make more people happy with search, more users happy with search. We're changing a lot of things in Google search. It's not working the same way it worked maybe up until 2-3 years ago. It's very, very different. We're not throwing what we call the bag of 10 links on people, 10 blue links, not anymore. We do a lot more to give people answers to their questions, sometimes without them even asking the questions.
Okay.
And we do, I specifically am involved in a project that is huge in terms of search, and some of it has launched recently. If you look for if you run some queries on search around NBA, you might see some of the things, movies, sports in general, and let's see what else, finance. You'll see some new things.
Like these widgets and the stuff.
You call it widgets, we call it differently, but yes, more richer experience that provides more answers to questions we know you're interested in, but you're not even thinking to ask.
Okay.
So we have big plans on that. And on a more personal level, and my publisher and editor will be very pleased with that. I plan to finally finish my book. It's blood, sweat, and tears, and I currently have 2.5 chapters to go, and it's supposed to finish soon, and I hope to release this baby to the world later this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm the first one who looks forward to it.
I already read the sneak preview and I liked it very much. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I shared a sample chapter already. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Tomer, and we will see you later on stage and tomorrow and on Friday in your workshop.
Good to be here.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Great. Holding this mic. It's not my common movement.